Okay. Hopefully my computer doesn't crash, but welcome all to the Ravecast. Was it episode 19? I can't even remember. We're number 9, right?
It's like 9, 7, something like that.
Okay, welcome to whatever episode this is. This is the Ravecast with your host, Crown Shots, me, you already know. And then I'm also here joined by, not Prismatic, I almost said Prismatic, whoops. Clean, or Rave Clean. If you want to say hi,
Yep.
Clean, you can say hi.
Hello.
Hello. Alright, so, Clean, first off, to start off the podcast, I want you to introduce yourself. Let's start out with that.
Hi, my name is Clean. I am 15 years old. My real name's Levion.
What are some of your favorite things to do? You gotta give more of an intro than that.
I play way too many games, like Fortnite. Now, I don't play Fortnite anymore. I play Call of Duty, Rocket League, and Roblox and that stuff.
Awesome. Okay, what are some of your hobbies outside of gaming? I would love to know that.
I do a lot of sports, like football and that stuff.
Awesome.
And yeah, and that's about it.
That sounds sick. So first off, I want to do this podcast a little bit differently. Like I've been watching a lot of the Optic podcasts, like the Optic Gaming one with like Hex and everything like that. So I got some ideas from them on like how we should actually like be doing this and stuff like that, and like more stuff we should do. But honestly, I want to get into a topic about like just topics, different types of topics. So like what made you want to join Rave? Let's start with that. Like what was your original thought? Like why did you want to join?
I wanted to join Rave because I've always wanted to be in a team with one of my best friends and go for clips for a team. I just haven't had that opportunity.
Okay,
so.
That's cool. What are some like things you're happy to see going on with the team right now? Like there's a lot of things going on with the team recently. Like there's we just got our first meeting in like, you know, ages, like years. We haven't done team meetings in like years. Like
it's very nice to know that like we can introduce to each other and you know, tell stuff about each other. So it's like getting to know the team members is like something that is probably my first priority before I start to do some stuff for like the team, so I don't forget people or some shit like that. Oops. So yeah, that's probably one thing that I probably want to do more, but yeah.
Do you consider yourself a pro gamer? In a
Not
sense?
at all.
Not at all? Okay.
The only really game I would consider myself good at was Fortnite, and I had like 3,000 hours on it, but I quit the game.
Holy shit, that's a lot.
Yeah, I've been playing since like season 1 or 2, something like that.
I had a lot of like hours in Fortnite too. Like I don't know if I had that many, but I like when I really started getting into it a lot more, which again I might get back into it again because these new seasons are actually kind of good. Not gonna lie, the seasons for a long time were pretty ass. They were pretty trash, you know.
Yeah.
They were really bad. But honestly, like, do you think you'll ever get back into Fortnite and try to like grind it?
It's a good possibility, but
Okay.
the last time I played Fortnite, I nearly broke everything in my room, so.
Oh shit. Yeah, I was like getting pissed off also at playing the game. But no, I wasn't getting pissed off. I was getting bored. Like that's what would happen to me and everything too, is that you can only win so many matches before you go on to like a losing streak. And you're just losing like every match to a stupid
At one
bot.
point, yeah, but like at one point I had a dry streak of over 2 months. I just couldn't win a game. I was dropping like 10 kills every single game, but like there was always that one kid in the lobby that just never went outside and has like 10,000 hours. So that made
it was freaking ridiculous. Yeah, it sucks. Dude, the Fortnite grind, like getting good at Fortnite is like one of the hardest games to get good at in my general opinion. Because you have to stay so consistent with it or else you'll lose like every skill.
Yeah, because of Fortnite, I've smashed 3 controllers and a keyboard. So
that's crazy.
So yeah, I could take gaming pretty competitively.
Yeah, I feel that. I've like thrown my controller like twice while playing Fortnite. That's like been my thing. Thrown it, and then I've also like smacked my controller on my desk a lot of times in my hands.
Last time I do that, I snapped one of my paddles in half.
Oh, shit. So you got like really bad. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
That's why it's good to get buttons. Okay, what do you prefer, buttons or paddles?
I'm gonna say paddles because I don't have like, you know, like every single time I play claw in games, my fingers always have a panic attack. So like, it's just, yeah.
Okay, here's another good question. Do you think claw is better, default's better, or there's like other ways to hold your controller too? I know, but
yeah.
Yeah.
It's preference of games. Like Fortnite, I would say claw. Call of Duty, claw. In like some games like Roblox, probably just regular, and like sometimes other games.
Do you believe keyboard and mouse is better on Fortnite or controller?
Keyboard and mouse is easier, but you have to get really good at aim, and controller is easier at aim, but like harder at building and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, controller is definitely a lot harder when it comes to editing fast and everything and staying consistent with that. Keyboard and mouse, you can just like, like, you know, edit everything so fast.
I remember one time I just, like, my mouse slipped off my desk and I was just like, okay, maybe going too fast.
Yeah, that was crazy. Like hearing Zeta and like, you know, the other members that play Fortnite and they're like keyboard and mouse, right? You can hear their freaking keyboard and mouse. It's just like...
Yeah. I used to have such a loud keyboard that at one point, one of my friends muted me for like so long.
Yeah.
And I didn't know he muted me until he unmuted me.
Yeah, I dabbled in keyboard and mouse, but I could never get the building down that... Like, it would take me a while to get the building down. Like, I still can't do 90s and stuff like that on keyboard and mouse, so it's kind of like, you know, I just edit fast.
Yeah.
Okay, some other questions that we should make this more of like game topics, I guess. This would be kind of good.
Yeah,
okay.
Probably.
What is some of your favorite games of all time? That's a good question. Like if you had to choose some.
One of them is definitely Black Ops 2.
Yes.
It's been a game I've been playing for like
one of the
6
best
years
CODs
now.
Ever. One of the best CODs of all time.
Yeah, but if I'm gonna be honest, one of my least favorite CODs is probably some CODs that people like, but in my opinion, it's BO1. I'm not the biggest fan of BO1.
Honestly,
so it's just like...
I agree with you there. I never really liked BO1. Like, I felt like the zombies was whack. People might get mad at me for saying that. But the zombies is... I don't even care about zombies in Call of Duty. I really don't. I care about the multiplayer and how the guns work and stuff.
But like, BO1's guns were so broken, and then there's the fucking Dragunov.
Yeah, Dragunov was overpowered. Yeah.
It was trash, actually.
Oh, wait, actually, never mind. Dragunov was trash.
It was terrible in that COD.
It was a sniper. But the machine guns were overpowered in that game, I remember.
Like the FAMAS, like that gun was so overpowered for no reason.
Yeah. And then even like some of the first guns you get were super overpowered even. It was horrible. It was like really hard to snipe in that game. I don't know why.
Yeah, because like the first like couple of months, they nerfed the quick scoping and then they put it back. But like, I've never been a fan of the trick shotting in the game. It's just difficult.
It was harder.
Like motherfucker, I didn't know that you can only body knock with this. What was it, Spaz?
Yeah.
Or Stakeout.
Black Ops 2 was definitely my trick shotting game, and like maybe a little bit of Black Ops 3, and that's it. After that, I just lost the touch for it.
Trick shotting is one of those like things that like can only go for so long, cause like I rarely ever see trick shots on the newer CODs.
Yeah, I mean, I follow a lot more Call of Duty players stuff now, and I'm starting to notice that there's still like a big community of people that watch like people like trick shot and go for sniper clips in MW2 even. It's like the craziest thing. It's like, how long has that community been around for? It's been like at least like 15 years.
COD 4.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Sniping is like one of those things that you have to be like consistent at to be good at it.
Yeah.
Because like for me, it's like hit or miss with me in sniping. Like sometimes I could hit 5 ons and then next thing you know I can't hit one shot. So it's like,
yeah. I feel like the newer CODs are too easy to snipe on though, in my general
especially
opinion.
MW2.
Like,
I don't know why.
MW2 is so much easier to snipe on, especially once you get that one sniper that everyone's using. It's way too overpowered. Yeah. It's like so easy.
People don't even have their preference of classes anymore. They just go on YouTube, TikTok, and everything. Most overpowered classes, bam.
Dude, literally nobody knows how to build their own classes anymore. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, like on Warzone and everything, they're just using metas.
They're just using like other streamers' classes, but like that's the whole point of playing the game is like in order to get better, you have to learn the classes yourself and learn like the attachments and stuff.
When I was like playing MW 2019 and stuff, like I was having a rough time because there's always this one kid using like M4s, MP5s, and like all these metas.
I remember that.
And like, if I'm gonna be honest, I just went to Warzone, and people were still doing it there, but I was just using an outdated gun, the M4, because I liked it. I liked the attachments on it. I've always killed people with it. I have like over 1,000, 3,000, 2,000 kills with it.
Yeah, the new Warzone, dude, like there's 2 meta guns that I see streamers using. It's that one LMG that's like super powered, and then that dual wielding pistols, automatic pistols.
Those things have been meta for like since the game came out.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, dude. And I find it annoying.
Anything.
I find it annoying.
I always see it in Warzone, but I never see it in multiplayer, and
exactly.
I don't know why.
In multiplayer, I always see like, I don't even see M4s anymore. I see like Kastov or snipers or something like that. I don't really see like LMGs at all.
And I don't know why, but every single time I play one game, there's always like 2 people that are using knives.
Okay. This is another topic to talk about. I've been noticing like hackers in the game now.
I actually haven't.
You haven't? Dude, there is so many hackers in MW2. Like you can totally tell that they're using walls. I'm not even joking about that either. Dude, it's so unbelievable. Like literally the other day, I got into a lobby of like hardpoint or domination or one of those, right? Like a competitive mode, right? On like pretty much the pubs, not even ranked or anything, not even CDL, right? And there was literally guys that were named like script.com and stuff like that. So there's actually like hackers, because I don't even think you're able to have a name like that.
I remember playing OG Warzone and everybody would be hacking, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I remember one time I got sniped from 500 meters away and I was so confused.
Yep. It's crazy.
And then
it's crazy too, because like in the older Warzone, there were so many hackers, because I remember I got killed by one time. Like he literally was seeing me through walls. Like he was following where I was at the whole time. Like I would literally run so far away to the point where he couldn't see me, right? But then he was just looking directly at me through like the building and stuff.
Yeah.
And you can totally tell they're hacking then, which is stupid. I find it annoying.
One thing like that ruined old Warzone was that they changed Verdansk.
Yeah, dude, I liked Verdansk towards the end. I didn't really like it at first because of all the campers. All of the campers that would camp on top of the buildings and stuff, on top of the skyscrapers. Do you remember that? Yeah. And then like also there would be the campers on top of like the car place.
2 main buildings at like the airport.
Yeah. And then the tower too. The tower was so annoying, because you would be on the final like people to win the match, right? And then there would just be people on top of the tower, and you would never be able to get up to them. Never. And
like, dude, OG Warzone could be fun, but I just could stick around with it because it's just one of those games. It's just annoying.
Yeah. I liked towards the end of the Warzone 1, like the first Warzone. Because do you remember when Resurgence, towards the end, like they had like the jump towers and stuff like that? So I really liked the movement towards the end of the first one. The movement was getting so good.
And like, bro, I swear, bro, every single time that they got rid of like Rebirth, I just wouldn't play the game because Caldera was so bad.
For real. I don't see why anybody liked Caldera. It was so bad and trash. I don't see why anybody liked it.
There's always be people camping on those hills, prone with their snipers out.
Yep, I remember that. But I mean, I liked Caldera towards the end of it, though. I ended up liking it a little bit because I liked how big the map was and like how more strategic you had to play in order to win, and like more sweaty it was.
But yeah, that game just.
But the map was so yellow. Did you notice how the old Warzone map was so colored weird, and it was just gross.
And then Caldera came around, and next thing you know, I think that my brightness is all the way up.
Exactly. But yeah, Resurgence was definitely the best. I remember that.
Yeah.
What do you think about the new Resurgence map? Do you think you're ever going to play it?
Probably not, if I'm going to be honest. I just don't like Modern Warfare 2 enough to play it.
Yeah. I've thought about getting into the new Warzone. It looks really fun. I've seen a few clips on it, like last night. But they were like super sweaty clips. Like this guy took out like 3 squads within like 2 minutes. It was crazy. Like he was like mega sweating on keyboard and mouse sniping.
Yeah, I don't know how people can get so good at keyboard and mouse on Call of Duty. I feel like that's like so hard.
It's freaking gnarly, dude. It's actually crazy. But yeah, like I saw this one guy like sweating that I haven't seen on Twitter in like 2 years, and he came back and he's over here like having like movement that I have never even like witnessed ever in my life. Like this man is like over here flicking his freaking mouse. He's like crouch spamming, freaking dolphin diving, smacking this guy, dolphin diving back into a room, turning around, smacking another guy, and it's just like he's literally making the game look stupidly easy, like he's playing against bots. But he's getting shot by everybody.
But you remember that one clip with that guy was just showing off how good he was in movement in like the beta? He was just doing stupid in there.
I don't remember that, but it's crazy. There's some people in the game that have movement to the point where it's like, it's unbeatable.
Like when people were like trying to figure out how to slide cancel in the new like Modern Warfare, I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna stop playing this.
There was like a thing that was out for a while that was called like G-hopping or something like that, and you basically looked like a freaking gorilla, and you were unhittable because it would just be like crouch spamming.
Yeah.
Crouch spamming and running, that's insane to think about.
Weird.
Yep. What else could we talk about?
We could talk about life.
Talk about life? Yeah, we could.
I don't know.
How's life been for you recently? Clean?
It's been going good.
That's good. That's always good to think about. Always like it when life's going good. Sometimes it can be pretty crap.
Yeah.
I would say my life is going pretty decent. Like I'm actually going to be, moving out here soon. I already applied to get my own like place in my town, so I'm gonna be moving out within like the year probably, if I get approved, and then I'll be able to finally have my own place, and I won't have to like hear my parents for a while, forever again. So I'll be happy.
I have like.
Go ahead.
I said I have like a couple of questions to ask you, but you can finish saying what you were saying.
Oh, you can go. I don't have anything else.
First thing is, what made you like call the team name RaVe?
Oh my gosh. Okay. I kind of explained the story of the name on one of the other episodes. I think it was the episode I did with Lucky, so you can always watch that too. But the name actually, this crazy story. You don't really know this member that I'm gonna be bringing up, but his name was Rave Nerdy. He was actually he's literally one of my best friends in real life. He was actually one of the original founders of the team with me, and like 3 others. But the other founders, we only have one other founder in the team still, and that's Prism Box. And then we have, or Prism Box or Hydro Sapphire. And then we have Bubba's cousin, which that was legit Coyote. That was his name. But he ended up leaving the team, or I kicked him eventually because he was too young, like way too young. And then
how old was he?
He was like 12. He was like 10 or something. He was really young, really young. And then we also had Wolf, Rave Wolf, which you've heard that name before a lot. Wolf is a kind of like an icon in the team a little bit. Like he's always been an OG to the team.
Like I remember I was playing Plutonium like a couple of days ago, and then he said, "Aren't you in the team with Wolf?" And I was like, "Yep."
Yeah, Wolf became pretty big on Twitter after a while of like being out of the team. So I'm honestly happy for him. I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm happy that I eventually removed him for the team because he had so much potential that was like further than what we could do for him in our team. So I'm happy he's having his chance now to be bigger than what he was in Rave.
I thought you were going to say he has too much of an ego.
No, he doesn't have an ego. I know that because I've talked to him recently. He just doesn't answer his DMs, which I've started to notice that. He doesn't answer his messages at all anymore. Like his direct messages. But, so, what's it called? The team originated from, we started out as a team on Black Ops 2 from, well, we had like 2 to 3 other names before we came out with Rave. One of them being Continuous Gaming, or the gamer tag was CUSG. It was like Continuous something gaming or whatever. Can't really remember the full name. But we've had that name before we had Rave, right? But basically the name came from, I was playing Rave in the Redwoods on Infinite Warfare Zombies, right? with Rave Nerdy, or Rave, or freaking One Nerdy Chance. That was his gamer tag, right? Or you can call him Chance. That's his real name. But we were playing Rave in the Redwoods one night at his house, and it was like freaking like 3 or 4 in the morning, dude. We were up like all night, like all the time. Every time I would stay over at his house, I would convince him to stay up all night with me and play video games. Because his internet would always be better during the night, so we would always play during the night. Because he had like internet, dude, where it was like physically impossible to play online games if anybody else was on the internet. So we had to stay up late to grind.
So you got the team name Rave from Rave in the Redwoods?
We got the name the name Rave from Rave in the Redwoods. That's the idea that we got. Because we were literally like up really late one night and we were talking, right? We were like, because I was already planning on changing the name for the team, right? I was already thinking about changing the name eventually, because we had it as COSG, but I wanted like a more solid name. I was always into making solid names at that time. Like I'm still really good at making names for like gamer tags and stuff. I'm just really good at names. So what's it called? We were up really late one night. We were playing not Black Ops 2, friggin' Infinite Warfare Zombies, and I was just like, okay, I brought it up to him, right? Because he was one of the leads. I brought it up to him. I was like, okay, we gotta make a new name. We gotta think of a new name for, our team. And he didn't really ever care about the team too much. He was mostly there just for fun and just to have people to play with. Like, he wasn't the one taking it serious. I was. That's why eventually he left competitive gaming for Rave, because he didn't take games that seriously to the point where I did. So that was like a whole nother thing. But So basically we were up late one night, we were playing Rave in the Redwoods. I was like, okay, we got to change the name of the team eventually. We got to think of something like pop. We got to think of something that's really catchy that no one else really has, right? So we were like searching up names on YouTube on his, I think I was searching it up on his sister's iPad at one point, or my own, because I had an iPhone 5 at that point. It was crazy. It was a totally different era for me. But so I was searching up names on YouTube, right? Because I remember, and this is kind of embarrassing, but like, no, I wasn't going for FaZe. I was going for Red at that time. Yeah. Like Red Reserve was out during that time. Like they were like a fresh team, and I knew that I didn't really care to join like a team like FaZe or Optic that much, because they were just like too mainstream. Like I was into teams like the smaller teams that were getting really big, okay? And this is back when I only had like probably like 200 followers on Twitter and like only like 100 followers on my main Instagram before I made other accounts. But I had like really low followers then. This is back before I literally had anything I have now. But basically, I remember I was searching up names and like trying to think of a good name for the team, right? Because I knew eventually I wanted to start a YouTube channel for it, kind of like Red Reserve, and start like everything like that, and start making it like kind of like Red, right? But I remember we were playing Rave in the Redwoods. I took a break to play Rave in the Redwoods with them, and I was just like, what if we name it Rave? But then he was like, he was like, wow, that's actually a great name. Like, that's actually a really good idea, right? And I remember we were both surprised that I just said that flat out randomly. I was like, you know, we play Rave in the Redwoods a lot. Like, why don't we just name it Rave? And I was like, and we were both just like, oh my gosh, we just made the most banger name I think that anybody has ever thought of. And so we made the name, we finally agreed to that. We were like, okay, but there's probably a lot of teams named Rave. So we searched it up on YouTube, right? We searched up the name Rave and looked for gaming teams, named it, right? So, what's it called? We searched up a whole bunch of teams, but the word nation became a thing in my head, because I was like, okay, so we can't just name it Rave, because Rave by itself only has a little bit of meaning to it. It's not really an organization name to me. So I was like, why not add nation to it? Because when you think of a nation, you think of like a community, you think of like, you know, everything that a nation has. So I thought of nation with Rave Nation, and then as I went on with thinking the idea, I was like, what if, because I searched up the name, right? And there was a lot of teams named Rave Nation at that time, right? Yeah. There was a lot of old teams that were like 9 years old and didn't upload for like 9 years, right? So I kind of finessed the name and it kind of became a thing. So I thought of the name Rave Nation, but then, what's it called? I had to think of a unique way to spell it. So I thought about adding the capital R and the capital V, because I saw that all the other Rave Nation channels didn't have a capital R and they didn't have any capital letters. They were all just named lowercase Rave Nation, all lowercase. And so I made it pop. I was like, capital R and capital V for the gamer tag. And I thought about it because it, you know, back then with Black Ops 2, the gamer tag, like the clan tag, had to be 4 letters. So yep. That's what I had to think about. I had to think about a name with 4 letters. Because Black Ops 2 only had a 4-letter clan tag. And
or you could have done something like NV does, like with the N and V.
Yeah. But I wanted it to pop. Like, you know, I mean, I wanted it to be catchy, so I put thought of Rave. Like Rave with a capital R and capital V. That would stand out.
Yep.
And it ended up really standing out as it is now, so it's kind of like a thing now. And honestly, some other like crazy things that actually eventually ended up happening, which is kind of weird, which it's kind of like older stories about the team that you may not know, is that, did you know that within our first like 3 videos, we accumulated over like close to 2,000 views within our first 3 videos or something like that, within like a few days. So that's like what really made the team pop like super fast. Like that was the first starting point where we were like, this is it. Like this is actually the thing that's going to be a thing eventually. And I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it. And I'm not going to give up till I do it. But yeah, within our first 3 videos, we accumulated at least close to 1,000 views or over that within like a week.
Damn.
And that was back. That was back when we were just doing montages like all the time.
Kind of like what FaZe was doing.
Yeah, but our first like videos, but I mean, montages aren't that popular anymore as they were. Like back during that time, it was like the ending of like when montages were like becoming like we're like on the ending of it. So like you were able to post a montage and it would get like 500 views easily, I bet. I think that was during that time. So like 2014 to 2012 was that time where montages, you could post a montage and it would get instant views, especially on Call of Duty.
Yep.
But so that happened with the team. We actually ended up later on having like beef with the other teams named Rave Nation. And like other YouTubers that said that we stole their name. Like they came into our comments, a lot of them came into our comments of our old videos and they would like hate on us, like they would start trash talking and stuff. And they'd be like, we started the name Rave Nation first and blah blah blah, like you're fake, like and our team would just argue with, like we would go into comments with them and everything, and we would just argue with them completely. It was crazy. Like the first coming up with the team, like making it the actual official team that it is now, was so crazy, dude. There's so many different stories that are just like archived in my mind throughout those years. Like they're just memories that I'm never gonna let go of because they were so interesting.
Yep.
I'll probably do videos eventually on the main Rave channel talking about old stories that happened and stuff. Because I do remember a lot of the things that happened back in the day.
Okay.
One thing that you didn't actually know about Rave 2 is that during Black Ops 2, did you know that we had over 100 members at one point?
Damn.
We had okay, the thing that I didn't really think about back then till I realized it, like, you know, a few months later when I was picking up like hundreds of members, is that I didn't think about infrastructure at all. So it was kind of like I was picking up a whole bunch of members, but they weren't actually doing anything. So they would be repping the team, but they didn't actually know that they were repping the team sometimes.
That is interesting.
Yeah, and we would only like talk to like probably like 30 of them throughout a day because it would be way too many people. But we were taking over. Like, did you know that back in the day when someone would trash talk one of us on Black Ops 2, right? Or especially trash talk me, like I would just invite, like literally, like I would fill up a whole lobby of just Rave members. And then the whole Rave, like a lot of Rave members in the old roster would just start absolutely belligerently, like pretty much like vocally assaulting people. Like there would be like 5 members on the enemy team trash talking like the whole rest of the lobby, and there was like 5 Rave members on my team, and there would be like the 3 people on both teams that were not Rave members that would be getting trash talked.
Yeah. Black Ops 2 was...
They would just get bombarded with hate and everything. It was crazy.
Black Ops 2 was a interesting,
It was.
you know.
It was such an interesting time.
people just screaming hard R racial slurs and everything was crazy.
It was the funniest time though. I remember back in those days, like I actually missed those days where I would be able to where I was having like hundreds of members at my disposal to do whatever I needed. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
And somehow like it was fun to me. It was like a game to me. Like having people join the team and then like we would just take over lobbies with just our team.
Yeah.
I remember one time, this was during Black Ops 2 as well, like, right? A few of the old members of RaVe, which I don't even remember all their names. We had like at least like a 6 stack of people whenever we needed it for anything. But I remember that one time we got trash talked by a whole nother gaming team. And I remember we, what's it called? They ended up saying like, oh, you guys think you're so good and blah, blah, blah. Like, you know, what if we do a search and destroy match? Us versus you. Our team versus your team. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And the saddest part is that this is where I kind of started realizing the difference between having people that actually like know what they're doing with each other. And like, you know, actually know how to play together and stuff correctly. And like be strategic, right? That's where I started learning pretty quickly that I had way too many people in the team that were just like, they didn't even know how to communicate. They didn't even know how to play competitively. So we got our ass beat by this one other comp team.
Mm-hmm.
We got our ass beat like literally like 8-0. It was ridiculous. It was sad.
And that's when you realize you actually needed to act.
Hey, what's going on, guys? I just want to say real quick that the recording we did for this podcast actually didn't end up recording all the way. So I just want to say that I'm very, very sorry for that, guys. My file kind of corrupted a little bit and my OBS crashed towards the end of the recording that I didn't even know because I pushed stop. And it ended up crashing eventually. So we actually lost like at least like 10 minutes worth of their recording, which is freaking trash. But anyways, guys, I hope you guys did happen to enjoy today's episode. The next episode is going to be 3 people with me, Prismatic, and Clean. And the next episode after that is probably either going to be with Slayer and someone else, or either Slayer by himself or something like that. We'll plan it coming up here soon. But honestly, guys, I just want to say I hope you guys did happen to enjoy today's episode. And make sure to drop a like and subscribe and comment what you guys thought was your guys' favorite part about this episode of the Ravecast. And without further ado, guys, we'll see you guys in the next one. Clean ended up leaving the call already, so you know, next episode we'll hopefully have a full recording where it's not gonna crash. But yeah, again, guys, it's been Crown Shots or King Crown Shots, leader of freaking RaVe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.